and I happen to agree with one side's approach when it comes to infrastructure.
Andrew Yang has launched the Forward Party, an attempt to change the system to allow for viable third parties. A noble goal, except for the fact that Andrew Yang has no idea what policies people actually support. So he was on CNN with Anderson Cooper and gave his brief thoughts on the infrastructure and budget bills. Check this out.
If you're an independent now, who do you think has the better argument between, progressives with their $3.5 trillion pitch for new spending, moderates who want to see the number, cut in half at least?
I'm someone who wants to solve problems, Anderson, and I happen to agree with one side's approach when it comes to infrastructure. Actually, it was a bipartisan bill, at least in the Senate. But the question is, how can we actually make our system work for us, the people of this country again? Because we can sense it's not working that well right now, and we're being set up to fail. Right now, the incentives are such that Congress has a national approval rating of 28%. The re-election rate of individual members is 92%. Because again, they don't have to appeal to the general population. They just have to appeal to the 20% on either side.
This is incredible. At the end of this clip, Andrew Yang says that Congress doesn't need to appeal to the American people, basically saying that Congress has a very low approval rating, which is true, because they don't have to appeal to people. But in that same minute, he does not support the budget bill which has a majority of support. So Yang has all these polls that he, about Congress disapproval rating and all this stuff. How about looking at some polls on some actual policy in terms of what people support and citing that? But he doesn't do that because he is ultimately a capitalist. And that is what this budget bill, the infrastructure bill, is all about. It is a giveaway to private entities. That is why 19 Republicans signed off on that Democratic bill in the Senate. Why would you have 19 Republicans sign off on a Democratic plan unless it's a giveaway to their big donors, massive corporations and the wealthy? So, and David Dayen, if you want more on this, has a great piece in American Prospect. Bipartisan Senate infrastructure plan is a stalking horse for privatization. The scheme would fund new infrastructure by selling off old infrastructure. Trump proposed the same thing. It's really hard to, it can be hard to read Yang because it's not clear if he is stupid or if he is corrupted or both. I don't really know what's going on with him, but one thing is clear is that he doesn't know what he's talking about because the budget bill has a ton of support. So he talks about Congress should listen to the American people. Well, the American people support 57%, which is a big number for anything for the American people to agree on. 57%. Do you support or oppose a $3.5 trillion spending bill on social programs such as childcare, education, family tax breaks, and expanding Medicare for seniors? And that's just one poll. We could also look at Data for Progress. A majority of voters support the Build Back Better plan, the budget bill. So you have here 62% of all likely voters, with 85% Democrats, 58% independents, and 39% Republicans. And if you go even deeper on that, look at the provisions. Every single provision listed here that is in the budget bill is supported either by a majority or a plurality of voters. So be it long-term care, be it lowering Medicare age, universal pre-K, pathway to citizenship, extending child tax benefits, all of it. Very popular. But that apparently doesn't matter to Andrew Yang, who tweeted this out in his during his announcement and discussion of his new Forward Party. It's not left versus right. It's the people versus a system designed to turn us against each other. And what would that system be, Andrew? It is left versus right. The right is capitalism, which is both in the Democratic Party and the GOP, has a hold over both with massive corporations and the wealthy. Now, look, I'm not going to sit here and say that socialism is the answer, but how about a mix? And for some people it is, and I have no issue with that discussion. But how about maybe just social democracy? How about a little more of a social safety net? How about, at the very least, allowing Medicare to negotiate down drug prices? So Andrew Yang is apparently against that because that is in the budget bill. Andrew Yang apparently against expanding Medicare to include dental, vision, hearing because that is in the budget bill that he does not support. Just it makes me look. If Andrew Yang had pure intentions and he actually cared about people, and he was informed on this discussion, then he would support the budget bill. It's that simple. So he's either an idiot and doesn't know what the fight's about and is going to comment on it anyways. Instead of, I mean, he could have just said there, I'm not following it too closely, so I can't give you a clear answer. He could be honest. Or he is educated on it. I mean, he appears to know that it passed the Senate, the infrastructure bill is, so he's aware of that, and he's siding with corporations. So he right now is fighting for essentially a third corporate party. As I showed you in my other video a couple days ago on Andrew Yang, he was asked about corporate donations, corporate PAC money in the Forward Party, if he would accept that. And he said that he has no plans to, but if he were to, he would be transparent about it. Well, what does that mean? People that take corporate PAC money already are transparent because you can go online and look it up. It's transparent. Being transparent about your corruption doesn't make you less corrupt. If you're going to launch a third party or an attempt here to change the system to allow for more viable third parties, at least do so with the understanding of why Congress is so hated. And that's because they serve their donors above all else. They do not listen to the general public, which Andrew Yang got right. But apparently he doesn't either, because if you look at polling, be it on universal health care, on universal post-secondary education, on higher wages, on social spending in general, on a wealth tax, on higher tax on corporations, the vast majority of people side on the progressive side of those issues. They lean left. Now, they may not realize they lean left because they don't view themselves as liberal or as left-wingers or as socialists, but on the actual policy issues, just looking at the policy issues, they lean left. A majority of Americans lean left. So you can't say this is left versus right. And how about the middle? What's the middle? Like, this is, again, goes back to the way that the mainstream press has largely framed discussions between the Democrats and the GOP, that somehow the independents are in the middle somewhere. No, the independents just hate both parties. And I'm sure there's a mix, obviously. Not all independents think the same way. But a large part of it is clear that they just hate both parties because both don't serve them. And they don't serve them because they're serving money. And when you look at, for example, support, as I just showed you on the budget bill, and you look at independent support here, you can see that at least a majority of these independents want more social spending. And same goes for everything else here. So it's just, this bothers me because I support the idea of pushing for a system that allows for more third parties. But Andrew Yang clearly is not the guy to do it.